Excellent. Amy, it's wonderful to meet you. Thank you so much for taking a minute out today.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. So before we get into your life and how you got the moniker Happy Hypnotist, I want to know first and foremost, 5 years ago, this pandemic was throwing so many things into unknowns, so many pivoting moments for all of us. How did you make it through it? How has it reverberated into your work today?
You know what's funny is I just kept doing sessions in my office
Yeah,
through the whole thing. Once in a while, I would get a client that wanted to do it on Zoom, but for the most part, I just had locals that were flocking to me,
yeah,
and I just kept doing them in my office. So it was kind of nice that way. But yeah, I also was letting people know that I can help you with the anxiety of this, with the stress of this. So yeah, it was an interesting time.
yeah,
And of course, it made it so I had a little more work,
yeah, yeah.
which was nice. But yeah, it worked out.
So let me ask you this. Let's get to the
Yeah.
heart and soul of what you do right now in 2025. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of 12-year-olds. It's career day. And one of the kids in the room was like, hey, what do you do for a living? How do you answer them?
I'm a hypnotist.
Okay.
And I've had, one of my youngest kids a few years ago, I was helping out with her class volunteering, and one of them found out this was when she was in fifth grade. And he said, wow, you have a superpower. I thought, wow, it's interesting. Because at that age, they're about 10 and 11. And he thought that I had a superpower as a hypnotist, and he was pretty young.
Wow.
So, yeah, I would explain to them that I help people with their mindset, with helping to reprogram memories, uh, to help people stop smoking in one session, and that the majority of what I do is help people with depression and anxiety by helping let go of emotions that are connected to that, past experiences, and so forth. So, yeah, I would have to definitely make it very relatable to a child,
Yeah.
right? A 12.
Yeah, for sure. So what did you want to be when you were 12 years old? What was your dream job?
When I was 12, I think that's when I wanted to be a marine biologist.
Right on.
I've loved sharks. I'm fascinated by sharks, and I didn't live anywhere near the ocean.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a while, that's what I wanted to be. Then I wanted to be on TV as a broadcaster. I wanted to be the next Barbara Walters.
Yeah. That's awesome. So talk to me a little bit about how you got to this point. What was it that ultimately led you to being the happy hypnotist to help people that way? How did you segue into this field?
Yeah, that's a great question. Thank you. So, in the past, I did human resources. I ran a staffing company. We did temp. We did, a number of things. I worked at American Express in their human resources. And then I stayed home with my kids for a little while. I have five kids. And so for a while, about 9 years, I was a stay-at-home mom. And so upon that point where I wanted to return to the workforce and I was ready, I said, you know what? I don't know if I want to do human resources. I think I want to do something bigger. Now, I had had past experiences with depression and anxiety. I had been through a few long bouts of severe depression. And so somehow that was resonating with me where I just thought, I've come out of those extremely severe depression episodes, and there was just something that was calling me. You know how that happens? You just feel like there's something bigger, something that you're meant to do. So I put it out there in the universe at that time, and I said, all right, universe, God, help me find my thing because I want to do something more than human resources. I just feel like there's something bigger for me out there. So I put it out there in the universe, and unbeknownst to me, I started looking into hypnosis. I don't even know why. I still can't explain it.
Yeah.
But I started researching it and, reading about it and looking into different schools. And my sister-in-law at the time said that she was going to a hypnotist and she loved it. So that really kind of fueled that for me.
Yeah.
And so I found a place, I certified as a hypnotist, and my first few clients were exactly the kind of person that I could help. Interestingly, my first few clients were past traumas, and it worked. I was a newbie, but it
Yeah.
was working really well. And so naturally, then I was just kind of attracting clients that struggled with depression and anxiety, and it was working really well for them. So from there, I decided, okay, I want to be really good at this because just certifying, if you want to be really good at it, that's not enough.
Yeah.
So then I started seeking out who are the really good hypnotists of the world. And I became the happy hypnotist because of how I help people be happy and peaceful. And also because I love to be happy. I love it. And so it just kind of evolved from that, where my first few clients were all about depression and anxiety. I had past personal experience, and then it just evolved to where I was like, I'm the happy person. I'm the
Yeah.
person that helps people to be happy.
So, who's been that inspirational force for you to find your way in life, to find your true calling or hero?
That's a good question. Well, I don't know. I felt compelled. And I don't know if there was any one person. Certainly, since I certified, I've found people that I want to aspire to be like. But as far as back then, yeah, there were people in my life, friends, and especially a particular friend that lives back east. I live out west, and she was just such an amazing inspiration of someone. She graduated college and with her master's at age 21, and started college when she was 16, and I've always looked up to her. So yeah, definitely I had her in mind to just accomplish, to be someone that is really a force for good.
So, what is your motivation to do the work that you do? And more than that, what is kind of your philosophy on taking care of yourself? Because you're dealing with heavy things. You're helping
Yeah.
people get to better places, but you got to deal with a lot of things that are heavy on their end. How do you balance and ground yourself and take care of yourself along with doing the best for your clients? What is that for you every day?
Yeah. No, that's a good question. First of all, yes, I deal with heavy things, but I also help people in a way that makes me leave happier. So my goal is, hypnosis works really well and fast. So my goal is that every session they leave my office feeling much better than when they came in. And so that's kind of how it goes for me. I don't leave feeling weighed down because of the heavy issues that they have, right? Like a lot of people that come to me have struggled with major, hugely disturbing things, but because they leave feeling better, I leave feeling better too. But
Yeah.
as far as self-care, yeah, I do have my daily affirmations. I do listen to other hypnotists' audios when I fall asleep. The reason I can't listen to mine is because then I'm always critiquing it, right? Oh,
Yeah.
why did I say it that way? Or I should have done it this way. But yeah, so I do listen to things. I sometimes do hypnosis on myself. And so it's easy to stay happy and grounded because of the fact that I feel really good. So for example, last Friday, was it last Friday? I helped someone stop smoking.
Yeah.
I got a text 2 days later, I'm a non-smoker. It was amazing. You're amazing. And that just lifts me up. It makes me so happy. And so I'm not the kind that absorbs people's bad energies or like I say, that I don't take that upon myself.
Yeah.
Sometimes I consciously protect myself, and other times I just feel good because I helped someone feel better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's a really good question. So that's how I do self-care. I do exercise, I drink a lot of water, and gratitude is a big thing for me. Oftentimes throughout the day, I'll say, thank you, God. I'll look up the sky. Thank you, God, for this. And I try to thank for the little things too,
Yeah.
just the simple things of life. And that helps a lot too. And I'm big on gratitude. And I give that as a homework assignment to my clients.
So, what would be your words to anybody out there that's on the fence and they're trying to get over something like smoking or deep trauma they've had in their lives, and they're trying to explore avenues of how to get over that? And we're talking about hypnosis and the possibility of it. What is the moment for your clients or potential clients to decide that you're going to be a fit? You're going to be the healing modality for them to get to that better place. How does that work?
Well, I would first explain how s- the smoking, the past traumas, those are in the bigger part of your mind known as the subconscious. And the reason that it takes people a long time to heal from those with traditional therapy is because they're trying to solve a subconscious problem with their conscious mind. Now, in the subconscious, that's where your past memories are, your imagination. Imagination is a big one because that's where stress, anxiety, right? It's all about what ifs, the future playing into the past, and the past is influencing your beliefs about the future. So, yeah, your imagination and your emotions, and that's the big one. The emotions are in the subconscious. So, I have worked with many people where we dissociate, disconnect, let go of those emotions. Because really, what makes a trauma is the fact that the emotions are so traumatic, right? The event itself, although objectively could be, oh, that's a traumatic thing, it's how it impacts someone.
Yeah,
It's the emotions of the experience that cause it to be a trauma or not. And so I would tell people that, yeah, I've worked with numerous people. I would give examples of people that I've worked with where we have taken past traumas, disconnected, let go of the feelings, and dissociated so that they don't bother them anymore. They can still remember the experience, but it doesn't have the effect anymore because in their mind, it's far away. It's way over here.
yeah.
It doesn't it doesn't bother them anymore. So I would tell them, yeah, I've trained with some of the best people in the world. I have extensive experience helping people with past traumas, and it's much more effective. The idea typically is that if someone goes through something traumatic, oh, they're going to be in therapy the rest of their lives. They'll never get over this. And that is not true
Right, right.
because the nervous system where everything is stored, right? Everything that happens to us gets stored in our nervous system, including the emotions,
Yeah,
the visual, right? Every part of it. But the nervous system is also flexible, right? What goes in quickly can also come out quickly.
yeah,
Traumas are fast typically, right? Like they're in there like that, stored, but they can also come out
yeah.
and be rearranged and reframed in the mind. So that's the reality that I see. I honestly don't see that they have to have years of therapy for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
No. When done the right way with the right person, me, right? Then it can be, you can have relief from that suffering fast.
And that was my next question, which is wonderful you answered that because I always wonder how you get to that point. So I'm curious in this journey that you've had in life to find your real professional footing. If you had a dream tonight, ran into the 18-year-old version of you, and you could tell that version of you a piece of advice based on this life you've led, the wisdom you've gained, what advice would you impart on that young version of you?
First of all, I would tell that person, that 18-year-old, that I'm more than good enough. I was raised in a way that you were never good enough. And not my parents as much as other things outside of the family that had a huge impact on me. And so I personally had to overcome that before I became a hypnotist. Another thing that I would tell her is get into hypnosis. I wish I would have known about this then
Yeah,
because I love it and I could have just taken it and run with it. And while I was raising my kids, I could have had it on the side because it's something that's flexible. So yeah, I've thought of that a lot. It's interesting that you asked that. I thought, oh, if I could just go
yeah,
back to my younger self and say, become a hypnotist now,
yeah,
and then you're going to develop your skills because I would have loved to have helped people with this 20, 30 years ago.
absolutely.
And yeah, because it's so effective and I love it.
Yeah.
I love what I do because it helps so much.
Yeah.
Like I was saying earlier, it's just thrilling.
Yeah.
I leave feeling satisfied when I do, a session with a client in my office. And so I've taken that now and written a book about some of this to help people. So it's focused on fear and the role that fear plays on depression, anxiety. But it's a great book, actually. It's for everyone on the planet because our world just has too much fear. So that's the other thing I would tell my younger self. You're going to write a book about fear. It's going to be really amazing.
Yeah.
I would say you've got some great things ahead and do this now
Yeah.
because it's an exciting journey.
So let me ask you this. Of everything that you've done, accomplished, and more importantly, evolved to, what are you the proudest of?
My book,
Yeah.
certainly,
Yeah.
that's definitely that was a lot of work,
Yeah.
a lot. And it comes out in just a few weeks. We're on the final stages, the publisher and I. Another thing is, yeah, just all the people that were really, really struggling. I've had people who were suicidal come to me. I've had people who had struggled with these traumas from their childhood for years. I get a lot of people that come to me that don't remember their childhoods.
Yeah.
And that's because their mind is protecting them from traumas. And so I'm proud of the work that I've been able to help with those people where we've been able to uncover these mysteries and resolve them. Never do I go visit the past in their mind except for the purpose of resolving it.
Yeah.
Like there's no time that I would ever go back there and say, "Oh, isn't that nice? Look what we found." No, it's, "Oh, okay, here's what's going on. Now let's fix this."
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm really proud of the profound resolving and helping people that I've been able to do with them. I'm just really proud of that because it's been major. It hasn't been just, a little bit of help where they felt a little better.
Yeah.
And every client's different. It's not that every single client has had extreme progress, but everyone's different.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'm proud that I went from stay-at-home mom to a motivational speaker. I do hypnosis shows. I've written a book, right? So I've done a lot, and
Yeah.
hopefully that inspires other women and just other people out there. I went from a mere stay-at-home mom, which I'm not belittling that,
Sure.
it was important, but I just never would have dreamed that I would come this far.
So let's get to the heart and soul of exactly who you are. Everyone has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, everyone that knows you, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Well, I think that I'm a fun person, powerful. I've always had an outgoing personality, tenacious and driven and persistent. And I've always had a focus of what I want. That's one of the things that I bring up in the first session with clients. I'll tell them you have to know what you want, or you're never going to get what you want.
Yeah.
If you don't know what you want, you're not going to get what you want. So I've kind of always been that person too, that I've always written goals. I've always had things written. Here's what I want. And I believe in that because when you know what you want, it does drive you. And I always knew I wanted 5 kids, and I got 5 kids.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, tenacious and just I love to have fun, maybe a little too much sometimes, but yeah, fun loving, adventurous. I've traveled around the world. And so that's how friends and family know me, as just a fun person that loves adventure. I love to help people, and I really want to help millions of people on this planet.
So, speaking of, if anybody wants to get your book, if they want to hire you, they have any questions, they want to reach out, any of the good business, where do they go?
Okay, thank you. Yeah, amykoford.com. That's my regular website. I have a free gift for you on there called the Happiness and Peace Checklist or the Happy Guide. And that is a really great guide to, okay, here's what I've learned as a happiness and peace expert that really works. You go through this, you do these things, and you will definitely feel a lot happier and a lot more peaceful.
Yeah.
So that's a free item for anyone visiting that. And then I also have bookamyk.com, AMYK. And that is for people that want to book me to speak. Like I mentioned, I am a motivational speaker, and it's a lot of fun. I always use hypnotism in my speeches,
Yeah.
whether it's just an audience thing where if I'm helping. So a lot of companies hire me for their corporate events and they want me to do stress reduction. And so with stress reduction, I'll provide amazing content, but then I'm also doing an audience hypnosis. Okay, everyone put things down and, close your eyes. And I help them let go of stress right there. Some people also choose a hybrid, which is really fun. So a hybrid motivational speech is where I provide content for the first half. And then the second half, I do a hypnosis show. Have you ever seen a hypnosis show?
No,
Oh, they are so much fun.
I bet.
So that's where I bring people up on the stage, hypnotize them, then get them to do outrageously funny things. The whole audience is just roaring with laughter. It's a
That's
blast.
awesome.
So, yeah, so a lot of companies, when they hire me to do a corporate event to speak, they want the hybrid
Yeah.
because it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will come up after and say, "That's the hardest I've laughed for a long time."
That's cool. Well, I will put all these links in the show notes. Amy, I'm so glad that we connected. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. It's just an incredible story. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. My book is called Hardwired to Rise, Live Fearlessly, Prosperously, and Optimally. And that is coming out in just a few weeks. Like I
Okay.
mentioned, we're in the final stages with the publisher. So
Okay.
look for that.
Excellent. Absolutely. Again, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you for your story and best of luck with the book and everything else.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Hello, friends. Joe Dimino here. I just wanted to let you know that after 30 years or so, I have finally released my first book of poetry through the mighty Spartan Press here in Kansas City, Missouri. As the creator and host of both Neon Jazz Radio and the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino podcast, along with being a visual artist, I'm ready to embark on a new adventure and want you to be a part of it. You can get a copy online via Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and actually on the streets in Kansas City at the great Prospero's bookstore off 39th Street. You can also visit joedimino.com for links to the book, to more poetry, and everything in my world, including paintings. Thanks for all of the love and support over the years, and please dig the words.